This video is going to be about getting the error code from Motion Terminal whenever there is an error on one of the valves, how to get that on codices, either using the function blocks or using raw data. So right now I have a motion terminal right here, and one of the valves is not running, particularly this one, valve number 1, right? So you can see all of the other valves are running, and this one says not running or not ready. Now, if I look at the data for this valve, it doesn't tell me anything right here. But if I click on monitoring, now I can see that there is an inactive error, and this error is malfunction code 28, right? So now what I can do, if I don't know what that error 28 is, I can go into this document, which is called Malfunction Codes. You can find this on the Festo website. And I scroll down to page number 4, and then I find this VTEM Malfunction Code number 28. And now this says diagnostic message, error during valve self-calibration. Okay, so now I know that there's an error code 28. But in this case, it was easy for me to determine this using this web browser, right? However, when this is installed with a PLC, this is being controlled by a PLC, you're not going to literally see this code right away. So you want the PLC to know what the code number is and then maybe do something about it, raise an alarm or something. So this video is going to be about how to get that code, right? So there is another document. Let me pull that up. And that document is this one that you can also download from the Festo website. This is called the PLC Programming Quick Reference, okay? Now, if we look through this document and I go all the way down to page number 16, there is, so there are different modes of running the motion terminal, right? You have the operating mode, which is running motion apps, and this is usually the way that a customer will run different motion apps on a motion terminal, but there's also a transfer mode, okay? And that's the one that I'm going to be using today, running the transfer mode. So now with the transfer mode, we can use a specific section of the transfer mode to transfer the error codes, okay? How is this how can I find this? You keep scrolling down and you're going to find channel number 31. So channel 31, this is for malfunctions, and there are some instructions here that I'm going to show you on codices. But so there's two ways of doing this. There's the easy way when you're using the function blocks, in this case this, right? And then there is the more, well, it's a little bit more complex, but it's just because you're dealing with raw data. So I'm going to show you the easy way right now, and it is easy because it's just as easy as just implementing this function block, okay? So right now I have also some other function blocks for controlling my valves. So I have 8 function blocks. I'm going to disable this first one because I'm going to use, as you can see, this block that I'm using to control the valve is mapping the inputs and outputs from valve 1, but I'm going to use that same mapping to use my transfer mode here. So I cannot read and write to the same instances. So that's why I need to disable this. Okay, so now I scroll up here. I look for that. Oops, no, not that one. This is what I need to look for this GVL valve control 1. Okay, so now I go to the GVL's valve control 1, and then I'm going to disable this. Okay, make that false. Now it's disabled, and I go back to here. Okay, perfect. So now this is disabled. So now if I go back, I'm going to put this to the right and put this to the left so you can see. I'm going to be using this function block, and remember, this is the easy way, right? So I'm going to use this function block to transfer something, all right, from this IO right here. And when I want to transfer, I'm going to make this bit true to execute. But right now I need to specify some numbers here. Okay, so what are those numbers? Those numbers are, so first I need a channel. What is the channel that I need to use? We already discussed that this is channel 31. Okay, so channel. This instance is called FB upload single parameter 1. and it's this one right here. So I open that up, and then we said I channel, this one has to be value 31. So I need to prepare that value here, 31. I have not written that yet. 31. And then addressed target. It says here the channel does not have does not have different addressed targets, so it doesn't matter. So I can skip that one. And then index. So now the index, it's mentioned somewhere here. Oh, right here actually. So malfunction message in reverse order of their occurrence. So now if I want to know the last yeah, the last message that I got, malfunction message that I got, I'm going to use number 1. So this is going to be 1 here. So now I'm going to write those values by going into debug and then write values. So now 31 and 1. And now I can execute this code. And I want you, once I click execute here, I want you guys to also notice here, this is going to change to TM. Instead of NR, is going to say TM for transfer mode. So let's execute that. True, and then write. So transfer mode, you probably saw it quickly there. It went to transfer mode and then it went back to NR. So I'm going to do that again so you can see. Transfer mode, and then it goes back, right? And you actually can see here transfer successful. If I make this false, so now it says ready for new transfer. Okay, awesome. So let's do that again so we can keep that value. Control F7, transfer successful. Now here it says upload done is true, and then I get an uploaded value of minus 30,180. So this value right now is this is a word. Actually, this is coming from a word because of this array of words here. So I need to decompose that into a number or into an actual integer, right? So what I can do for that, there is a function block also embedded on the same library for the motion terminal, and this function block is called read bits from Word. And basically here I'm telling it, okay, I'm going to grab the raw data from somewhere, and I want you to tell me what these bits mean. So how can I check that? So we can go to uploaded value. Let's see. Uploaded value. We'll go to the transfer mode, and then there's going to be a value here that it's being read right here. So it's 2 bytes. Actually, hold on. Yeah, it should be 2 bytes. 1 second. I thought it was on 31. Oops. Let's keep going down. 31, 31, 31. Okay, so now it says here, it's byte number 4 and byte number 6. These are the 2 bytes that are telling me something, right? So 28, so this, what I'm doing here is between these 2 bytes, I'm telling it, okay, I want you to start reading from, actually, there's something wrong here. I think this should also be, let me see if I get the same 28 value. I think this can be 0 to 7. 0 to 7. And then let's log in. Yeah, it's the same thing. So malfunction code on the byte number 4, it's telling me 0 to 7, and it's giving me a value of 28, an I value of 28, which is the same number that I showed you on the visualization. Let me bring that up. Where is it? 1 second. Right here. So it's the same 28 value from here. If we wanted to double check that, I can see here, if I type in a number 35356, we can see here in binary, the first byte, which is byte number 4, So byte number 4 would be this and this portion. So if I type that in binary, this should be 11100. It is 28, and this 11100 is coming from here, 11100, because this is byte 3, and then this is byte 4. Sorry, this is byte 4, and this is byte 5. So byte 4 and byte 5. Okay, so that's how this is working. All right, so now I can close this. This is an easy way of doing this, just by using the function blocks. Now, if the customer for some reason, or the user for some reason doesn't have access to the function blocks, he can also deal with this with raw data. And for this, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to bring some other blocks that I was using earlier. Copy this blocks into here, right here. Okay, so what I have here is I'm using these blocks that are also included in the library, but now if you see with this, I'm writing a value to word, right? So it's just helping me to decompose or actually compose several different bits to a particular word, and that allows me to write directly into the word instead of me trying to figure out which bit is which. So let's see here. Let me put this to the side again so you can see, and I need to bring this one up. Okay, let's see here. All right. So the first, it's the valve mode. How did I determine that? Let me show you. The valve mode is here in transfer mode. Okay. So the valve mode says that the valve mode is specified on byte 0 from bit 0 to 5, right? Now, the reason why I have this, why I have to do this is because the way that I mapped each valve, so we know that each valve occupies 6 bytes, right? So this is explained here. Valve at slot 0, 6 bytes of output and 6 bytes of input, right? So 6 bytes. But the way that I did it in Codices, and because I'm using Modbus in this case, I'm using words. So meaning that 6 bytes, it's 3 words, right? So that's why I have an array of three words. Now, okay, that's explained now. Now, if I want to change the valve mode, I need to set it to, in this case, I need to set it to valve mode 63 if I want to use the transfer mode. So I need to write a 63 to this this portion of the byte 0. So from bit 0 to bit 5. That's why I specify here in this block. I say, okay, valve mode, and this is how I call the block. From bit number 0 to bit number 5, so from here to here on byte 0, so data word 0, because remember these two, so byte 0 and byte 1 is word 0. So from here to here, I want to write the valve mode. So this is where I'm going to be writing a value of 63, right? And then channel, okay, channel, where is it? Channel, it's right here. So this, I'm still using the same word, right? Because it's word 0, but this is going to start from bit 0 of byte 1 all the way to bit 4 of byte 1. Again, thinking of words, it's still the same word, right? So still word 0, but now you can see here, it starts from bit 8 to bit 12. Why? Because remember, this is a word, right? So 0 to 7, and then this is 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 8 to 12, right? So 8 to 12, still on word 0. This is my channel right here. Now, transfer control, by the way, what are those? Channel. So channel is, in this case, on the channel here on this one is where I'm going to write the 31 because I'm looking for malfunctions. And then what else was I missing? Transfer control. So transfer control, same concept. Still, transfer control is still in the word 0, right? These 2 bytes. So this is going to be from bit 13, so from this bit to bit 15. And again, remember that these two are, I'm talking about these numbers because it's coming from a word, right? Still word 0. And here, what am I going to write? Transfer control, I'm going to do an upload, right? Because I'm reading the malfunction. So an upload is what? A number 2, decimal 2. Okay, perfect. So I have that now. What else do I need to read malfunctions? I need, let's go to 31. I need an index, right? So that's why I have this index here. So where is the index? The index is now on the next word, right? On this byte 2 and byte 3, which is the second word, or word 1 in my case, and it's the last 8 bits. Okay, so now that means that what changes? I mentioned that it's now word 1, because remember this is byte 2 and byte 3, not byte 0 and byte 1 anymore. And this is going to be the last 8 bits. So from 8, remember we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 15, right? So 8 to 15 on word 1, that's my index. And let me change this as I did on the last one. And then I'm going to be able to read um, the result or the error code on 31 here on byte 4, actually byte 4 from this word. So that's why I have this here. So byte 4 meaning, so byte 0, byte 1 is word 1, byte 2 and byte 3 is word, sorry, byte 0 and byte 1 is word 0, byte 2 and byte 3 is word 1, and byte 4 and byte 3 is word 2. Okay, so from word 2, I'm going to read bits 0 to 7, so 0 to 7, 0 to 7, and this is going to give me my malfunction code onto the value. Okay, so let's try this code. Log in, do an online change. So now it takes these new function blocks that I brought in. All right, so first of all, I need to make this false because I don't need to use it anymore. This one right here. So make it false, false, and now I need to manipulate these values from these 4 blocks. Okay, so let's do that. Val mode, we said that for the transfer channel, we need a 63, right? Transfer mode 63, valve mode. Okay, 63, valve mode value 63. I'm just going to leave it as prepared value. I'm not going to write it yet. Valve mode, what do I need for the channel? So the channel was what? Malfunctions. So I need to specify here a 31, right? And then transfer control. So I need to do an upload or a read. And here's where I need to type in A2 for upload. Okay, and then the index. So which index do I want to read? And this is similar to what I did on my example with this function block at the very beginning. So the index comes directly from the channel 31 here. Index 1 to 40 is the malfunction messages in reverse order of their occurrence. So I want to get the latest one, which is number 1. Okay, perfect. So index here, value 1. So all of those are prepared. Actually, I wrote some of them already by mistake because I use my shortcut here, Control F7. But anyways, let me write that, debug, write values. So now, as soon as I write those values, you can see here 28. That's the value that I'm reading. So if I change that to, let's say 60, 61, the vault mode, actually, yeah, 62, 61. Uh, no, that's fine. It's still keeping the same value. So right now I'm reading the 28, which is the error code that I wanted to get, right? If I wanted to switch back to operation, I can just simply enable, well, actually I need to get rid of these blocks, and then just enable my valve control block. This is just for diagnosing. Of course, right now the error is still there. It's showing right now. So this is just for diagnosis and to identify what's going on with the valve. But this is the way that a customer will do it in case that they are having issues. So here it is. If I want to exit the transfer mode, I need to specify a number 3 on transfer control. So let's do that. And actually, let me bring that page so you can see. Right now it's in transfer mode, right? So if I want to exit, I need to write 3 on transfer control. 3, Control F7. So I wrote that 3, and now it says not running. So that's how you would, and now you can see the value is back to something else, right? So that's how you would use this to detect some error codes going on the valve.